Nietzsche declared that God was dead. He believed struggle could make us stronger, music gave life meaning, true relationships were bound by invisible threads, and heaven was missing the most interesting people. Nietzsche's ideas remain as bold and unsettling today as when he first wrote them. Friedrich Nietzsche was a philosopher who overturned the moral codes of his time and forced people to see the world differently. His ideas sparked debate then, and they continue to echo across the centuries. He was not only a philosopher, but also a writer of poetry and music, blending thought with art in ways that set him apart. Nietzsche's life was short, just 55 years. His final years were marked by illness, ending in a psychiatric clinic before his death. Yet Nietzsche left behind words that live on. His quotes and aphorisms remain sharp, challenging, and deeply relevant. The statement, "God is dead, and we have killed him," stands as Nietzsche's most famous line. These words carry his thoughts on how traditional religion was crumbling in the Western world. For centuries, faith in God shaped morality and values. Nietzsche saw this foundation slipping away. He argued that the Enlightenment, with its growing focus on science and reason, had steadily chipped away at belief. As confidence in God declined, so too did the authority of religious morality. For Nietzsche, this death was not literal. It was a metaphor for the loss of universal meaning once provided by faith and an all-powerful deity. He believed religion, particularly Christianity, restricted freedom by binding people to rigid moral codes. Abandoning faith, however, created a crisis. Without God, humanity had no divine guidebook. Nietzsche saw this as both a danger and an opportunity. On one side was nihilism, the belief that nothing mattered, that life had no value. Nietzsche warned against this path. On the other side was his concept of the will to power. He urged people to invent their own values and purpose, to create meaning through their own experience rather than searching for it outside of themselves. When Nietzsche wrote, "We have killed him," he was pointing to a collective act by the Western world. Thinkers of the Enlightenment, such as Descartes and Rousseau, helped erode faith by offering reason as a rival to religion. Humanity had done this together, and now it faced the consequences. Nietzsche insisted those consequences should be faced boldly. He rejected the idea of clinging to substitutes, whether through nihilism or political ideologies. Instead, he challenged people to recognize the loss of God as a chance to embrace freedom, creativity, and self-determination. Nietzsche also believed that adversity could be a source of growth. His line, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger," captures this conviction. Hardship, he argued, was not only something to endure, but also something to transform. This fits into the broader theme of life affirmation. Rather than running from suffering, Nietzsche urged people to embrace it, to treat obstacles as opportunities for self-overcoming. Strength, he believed, came from pushing against limits. The comparison to physical exercise illustrates this well. Muscles only grow after they are strained to the point of fatigue. The pain of exertion gives way to greater power. Nietzsche thought the same was true for the mind and the spirit. Loss, failure, and rejection all carried within them the potential for growth if confronted honestly. By facing hardship instead of avoiding it, people could develop resilience and strength. This idea also connected to Nietzsche's critique of morality. Nietzsche believed that unquestioningly following inherited values dulled the human spirit. By breaking from convention and shaping personal values, individuals reclaimed vitality. It took courage, but it also gave back control over life. The quote reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is the possibility of transformation. Pain, for Nietzsche, was not the end, but a path toward becoming stronger. Nietzsche's words still strike a chord because they touch on what it means to struggle, endure, and grow. If reflections like these spark your curiosity, subscribing to The Collector is the simplest way to stay connected with stories that dig deeper. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Nietzsche's reverence for the arts was deep. and no art form mattered more to him than music. His phrase, "Without music, life would be a mistake," expresses his belief that art was essential, not optional. For Nietzsche, music had the power to reach beyond reason and language. It spoke directly to emotions, cutting through the limits of words. A single composition could summon joy, grief, or awe in ways no explanation could. Music was more than beauty, it was a force of liberation. Nietzsche thought music could help people break free from restrictive social and moral codes. After all, in music, individuals found expression without conformity, a universal language that revealed their inner selves. Nietzsche also saw the power of music to unite. Concerts, performances, and other shared musical experiences brought people together across boundaries of class, language, or ideology. Music created bonds where none might have existed, offering a common ground that could transcend division. To Nietzsche, art was not an escape from life, but a fundamental part of living it. Music in particular revealed truths that could not be spoken, linking individuals both to themselves and to each other. Nietzsche dismissed the promise of life after death as a distraction from living fully in the present. His claim that, in heaven, all the interesting people are missing, captures his rejection of that idea. He argued that religion encouraged self-denial in exchange for rewards in an imagined paradise. For him, this stifled creativity, passion, and fulfillment in the here and now. True vitality, Nietzsche believed, came from embracing life on Earth. The interesting people were those who broke from convention, pursued passions, and lived authentically. In his eyes, artists, innovators, and unconventional thinkers especially embodied this spirit. They defied norms, bent traditions, and created new ways of living and seeing. Nietzsche's own life reflected this outlook. He lived unconventionally, rejecting accepted values and exploring philosophy, art, and music in ways that often unsettled others. But to him, the pursuit of heavenly rewards dulled the drive to experience and create. Growth, he argued, came from facing challenges, embracing passions, and affirming life itself. Paradise was not somewhere else. It was in living boldly right now. Nietzsche also reflected on the nature of relationships. With the line, "Invisible threads are the strongest ties," he pointed to the unseen bonds that connect people. Nietzsche valued relationships built not on convention or appearance, but on authenticity and mutual understanding. For Nietzsche, real connection grew from shared perspectives, emotions, or goals. These invisible ties could endure distance and time. Friendship, for example, could remain intact even when people were separated. The bond lived on through shared memories and mutual support. Communities built on common causes or passions also reflected these unseen ties. Nietzsche believed that genuine relationships required honesty, being one's true self, not what society expected. Only then could people form bonds of trust and understanding. Nietzsche argued that it was not closeness or frequency of contact that defined the quality of a relationship, but the depth of authenticity that it contained. Invisible threads, woven from truth and trust, held people together more strongly than surface ties ever could. So, what does Nietzsche teach us? His ideas challenge the way people live, think, and connect. Nietzsche questioned inherited beliefs, rejected blind conformity, and insisted that individuals create their own values. Nietzsche saw suffering not as unavoidable, but as a means to grow stronger. He celebrated art, especially music, as a path to expression and unity. He dismissed heavenly promises in favor of embracing life here and now, and he valued relationships rooted in authenticity. Nietzsche's life was brief and troubled, but his words remain. They continue to provoke, unsettle, and inspire us today. His philosophy does not necessarily offer comfort. Instead, it pushes people to live fully in the present, to embrace challenge, and to seek meaning in their own way.